What is up, guys? Welcome into a brand new video. Now today we're going to be looking at how to make custom difficulties on Cricket 24. I've had a few people ask me, so for instance my max slider challenge, my lowest slider challenge, how you actually change the sliders and make custom difficulties. Today I'm going to show you how to do that. But before we get into it, guys, if you could leave a like on the video, subscribe if you haven't already, it does massively help out the channel. Now, to start off with, you need to scroll down from the home screen. You need to go all the way down to custom difficulties. You need to go new to pick what you want. Now, this is when you come into the different sections. So you can name it. So, for instance, maybe I want to call this, let's go test match. So I want to make this to test match difficulty. So you can change it. So if you play on hardest, then you probably want to put the AI difficulty on legend. But again, just kind of play around with that. That's how good the AI is going to be. So what batting shots they play, what fields they set, what bowling lines they bowl. Again, I usually try and keep this. I usually keep the striker timing and the wicket chance both on 50. Just because it makes it a little bit easier. The bowl quality you can probably turn up to about 60, 70 if you wanted to. Run rate up or down depending on what you want it to be. I want it to be a test match, so I'll say I'll put it down to 40. Bowling, you want it, I usually put mine on hardest. Automatic appeals for thin edges, no. Automatic appeals for OW, no. Automatic bowling action off, I always have that. Spin difficulty, bowling line sensitivity, that's what it is on the hardest. So if you play on hard, keep it on hard. If you play on medium, keep it on medium. Nothing really changes with that. Now, if you go into batting, again, that's exactly the same. If you want to keep it on hardest, if you want to keep it on hard, medium, doesn't really matter. Footwork required on, as it usually is. Shot replacement off. Now, if you want to change your, I think the biggest problem that people have on hardest difficulty is that they edge quite a lot. So for instance, especially on like an OK input, so if you want to turn the OK input down a little bit and then maybe turn the good input off, because if you're playing a good shot, you don't want it edged, which is fine. Low striker skill influence 0 and high striker skill influence 0. So if they're good, bad, or indifferent, it doesn't really matter. Timing windows as it is fine. Player miss input, and again, keep that in. And then field it, I mean, doesn't make a massive difference at the end of the day. You can change that medium, hardest. Again, whatever settings you usually play on, just change it to that. Even on the hardest, it's still quite easy to catch on this game. So this is how I would change it, how I would change the settings to say if I wanted more pace, like I did in my max slider challenge. You put everything up to 100. I usually keep it, on this game at the moment, I've currently got it set to 50 and just have it set as standard. On Cricket 22, I had it set to 60. But again, it's entirely up to you. And again, you can have a bit of a play around with this. It doesn't really matter. It's just all about feel. So maybe try a couple of difficulties, play a couple of practice games, see how you get on. You can always kind of change it a little bit, play around with it while you're actually in the game, to see if there's any differences. Again, you can change. I put all of these up for my max slider. I put all of these down for my lowest slider. So yeah, you just want to go up and down on these and just change them as and when. I keep all the umpiring decisions the same. I feel like they don't really need to change. You can actually change the umpires to make them good, bad, or indifferent. But again, just what it is here is absolutely fine. You don't really need to change it. If you want to have more chance of actually getting a correct review and for it to be a little bit more realistic, then maybe turn the kind of LBWs down a little bit, because I think umpires probably get about 85% of them right. But obviously you've got to be a little bit wary that you might get a few shockers, especially if you're playing in a game that hasn't got reviews, which would be the issue. But that's basically it. That's basically all of the settings that you can change in the custom difficulties. Again, you can play around with it. You can make the ball a lot bouncier. You can change it in many different ways. But I will now show you how you get that actually in the game. So if we go to a play now and we just go to a new men's match, we go there. So if we go match settings, we can then change the difficulty to the test match settings that we just had. And then that will be there for that game. And then if you actually do go into the game, I'll show you. Say if you wanted to change it over in the game, I can then show you how to do that. It's a really good, if you can find a way to get these sliders nailed on, it makes the game feel really realistic. There are a lot of YouTubers that have really good sliders out. I haven't really tried as many as I usually do, just because I've just been busy recording content rather than playing the game off camera. Now, so we are at the top. So if we go to settings now, we can change the difficulty, and we can change the difficulties around here. So you can actually change whether it's the batting or the bowling, or you can just keep it all on the test matches. So you could have your custom difficulty for one, and you could have it on hardest for bowling. You can change it, and then if you go to manage your custom difficulties, you can go to test match, and you can make all the same changes as you can in that game. Now, you can also do this in career mode. It's done a very similar way. So if we go and pick, I've got a Ben Stokes career for some reason. I'm not 100% why. I think it was for my Ben Stokes World Cup episode. So if I play as Ben Stokes, I can go proceed. I can go to match settings, and then I can change the max difficulty, and I can put that back on hardest, for instance, if that's what I want to play on that career. But that's kind of it for the custom difficulties. There's no real kind of this is the perfect sliders. It's just kind of how to do it. The best way to do it would maybe spend an hour, just have a play around with it, look up a couple of YouTube videos, look at what's best for you. That's the way I do it. But guys, that's going to be it for today's video. I very hope this helped. If you do have any questions down in the comment section below, let us know. I'd help as many people as I can out in the comments. If you do have any questions, again, have a look through YouTube. If you do find any YouTube, just drop me the videos or the channels in the comments as well, because I do need to have a look at some sliders. We need to improve kind of the bit of a realistic part of the game, which I do feel like sliders helps with. But that is going to be it for today's video. Please remember to like, please remember to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.